life is forever changed.
I want his justice. I want his justice. I want his justice. I want his justice.
It's ruined. It's ruined. It's ruined. It's ruined.
I worked at the K-25 Oak Ridge Gaseous Diffusion Plant for 7 years. It's now called the ETTP, East Tennessee Technology Park, and the plant enriched uranium for nuclear fuel and bombs. The primary heavy metal that they have found in my body was mercury, cadmium, a lot of nickel, arsenic, small amounts of uranium, plutonium, aluminum, things like that.
This is the gate where the dump trucks and the backhoe used to come out every night at midnight and would drive to some destination within a 2-hour distance of the plant and dump the slag that they want to get rid of because they've run out of places to dump it in the plant.
Generally, heavy metals, no matter what they are, they like to lock up in the amino fatty acid tissues of the body, soft nerve tissues, bone marrow. Uranium especially loves bone marrow. And so as these heavy metals lock up in the body, they get attached. They like where they are. They get comfortable. They make a little nest and they're there. It appears that the government is dead set on paying only somewhere in the area of about 30% of the claimants. And the other 70%, they just have no intention of paying. I don't know why. I was denied last year. They told me that I could have gotten, in my letter of denial, they told me that I could have gotten these high levels of arsenic, lead, silver, and nickel from anywhere in the environment. In other words, I could just walked outside and gotten a deadly dose of arsenic, lead, silver, and nickel. I don't think so. I just don't think so. I just don't think so.
And his colon had ruptured twice, and then after his septic shock that he lived through, and then he had staph infection from the hospital, and he got through that, and then he had his colon rupture again, and he had a septic poisoning from E. coli, which had invaded his body. They took his colon out, but the colostomy became an explosive diarrhea that would actually blow the colostomy pouch off. He had 2 pouches after last year, and it was a very difficult, humiliating to him situation. I really became, I guess the best word for it's angry.
So I wasn't even a operations worker. I was not a blue-collar worker, and yet I was still exposed to enough of this dust to have nickel poisoning. See, this is another problem with this program. Now this is a larger picture problem with this program. And this is something that we brought up from day one when this law was in its formative stages in the year 2000, is that the workers do not have access to the physicians and the testing that is needed to gather the evidence that they need to put together their cases that show that they have these toxins in their bodies. As a certified whitewater person, whitewater instructor, and I worked many hours. I put on these technical pollution prevention conferences for the Department of Energy. And these were big conferences that involved the whole department all over the country. You know, I would give these presentations. I gave one at the White House. I gave them all over Congress, and mainly just to show people, you know, that I was a really active person. I wasn't a disgruntled employee. I wasn't a malingerer. You know, I was a really active employee. I probably worked 60, 70 hours a week. And then every weekend, every Friday and Saturday, I was out kayaking and paddling. And if I wasn't teaching people, I was actually paddling myself. If I wasn't paddling, I was mountain biking or hiking or downhill skiing or cross-country skiing. I mean, I was a really active person. I had a great life. And then, of course, it all came tumbling down. And then, well, you know, if I go to the doctor and then run an errand or two, that's all the energy I have for a day. And I would say at least 4 or 5 nights a week, my husband has to fix dinner and bring it to me in bed. I have no energy. And the interesting thing that I finally found out that there's a reason for that. My doctor in Asheville explained it to me. He says that what has happened is that these metals in my body have affected the mitochondria in the cells and the ATP molecules, which is the energy storehouse. And they don't work right in my body. I can't explain it very well, but there's a real physiological reason why I don't have the energy that I used to. And it has to do with my body being poisoned.
Stories they put out about what a good job they're doing, and recently that they had paid over $1 billion to Tennessee workers. Well, that's to 9,700 people in Tennessee. Most of that's in the Oak Ridge area, but there are 57,000, if I'm right in my numbers, still in Tennessee file claims. And a total of 170,000 plus claimants across the nation have filed.
It was DOE and its contractors who were self-regulating, who put production over human health and safety, and they knew it was dangerous. They knew